Hello everybody, I am Conley Woods and welcome back. Videos finally up, Kaladesh on Magic Online. So I decided this week I'm going to record a draft. I've only done about six drafts of this format, but I have a pretty good feeling for it. I've gone over the format quite a bit, and I think there's a lot of room to do some fun, awesome things depending on what rares you get or what strategy you end up kind of moving down. So we're going to play a draft here, see where we end up, and try to keep it as fun as possible, knowing that that this particular format is, like I said, it's really fun to just brew and do what you want. There's a lot of different angles you could take. Although the format is rather aggressive when you're getting beaten down by a battering ram, so we have to keep that in mind. But all else considered, we're going to join into a league here, play 3 rounds of a draft, and hopefully walk away with some sweet cards and some boosters. So, Kaladesh Online. We're going to be right back. TCGplayer.com, Conley Woods. Peace. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I am Conley Woods. This is Kaladesh. We are bringing you a draft of the new set. And we opened up a pretty sweet rare, so I'm guessing we're going to end up going with it. Maximize it a little bit. Just a swamp. All right, perfect. Alright, so our rare here, if anybody not acquainted with it, pumps up all servos and thopters, of which there's a bunch of things that make those in the set. This also creates its own servos for 4 mana, and it's a 3-cost 3/2. So I think we're just going to snap it off. I've never actually played with it, but I assume it's going to be quite good. I do know that the operative is a little bit stronger than he looks. Obviously, Longfin Wheel is very, very good. Just 4-cost 4/3 flyer. Furious Reprisal, again, also very good, killing 2 different things. Always enjoy that. There's quite a few other strong commons here. Select for Inspection, pretty strong. The Sage is strong. Rush of Vitality is surprisingly strong. But we're just going to go with the rare here, and we'll try to build our deck around whatever. Ooh, we got a Fairgrounds Warden immediately afterwards. So that we're looking solid. So Fairgrounds Warden, for anybody that does not know, it's basically the new Fiend Hunter. Costs a little different, but it's a dwarf. But otherwise, it's the same thing. There's also Eliminate the Competition here, which does work pretty well with a servo strategy, so long as we're willing to commit to a second color. The problem is most of our servo production theoretically is going to either come from blue or red. Those are probably the heaviest colors that make servos. So I kind of want to take the Fairgrounds Warden, which is a strong card, and it's another dwarf. But at the same time, it is kind of appealing to take this, even if we just splash it. This is where I get myself in trouble. I take the rare that's fun as opposed to taking the Fiend Hunter. No, I'm just going to take the Fiend Hunter for now. I think that rare is probably worthwhile, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it yet. Alright, what do we have? We have Wispy Angel, 6-cost 4/4 flyer that blinks something. Pretty strong, I would say, overall. We don't really have... I mean, we have a Fairgrounds Warden, but we're not going to combo with that. But 6-cost 4/4 flyer is pretty strong, and it's on color. We don't even have to commit to a second color yet, so that's strong. Bomat Courier here. I don't think he's probably very good in limited. Fairgrounds Trumpeter. This is a pretty fun card to build around, I think, but I don't know if we'd want to take it at this point, especially when there's a good uncommon for us. Puzzle Knot is pretty reasonable at making servos, but we should have plenty of opportunities of getting that. The Ibex, all these energy-making guys that get +1/+1 counters are quite playable. In case you do not know, feel free to take them all. Again, Select for Inspection is good. But yeah, I'm just going to take the Wispy Angel, move on with my life. I think I would probably take the Puzzle Knot if that wasn't... Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I would go into a second color at that point. Alright, what do we got? We got Cloud Blazer. Okay, well, we're being rewarded for being one color because... I mean, there are some other good cards here. Again, another Puzzle Knot. Another Ibex. The Dragster is pretty susceptible to a lot of removal, and it gets blocked and killed pretty easily. So it's not my favorite vehicle, but vehicles are all reasonably strong. Contraband Kingpin is really good. Aether Tradewinds here has me excited because if this wheels, which is very, very possible, we'll have Cloud Blazer plus Wisp Weaver Angel plus Aether Trade Winds all set up, and that would be a nice little blink package because the Angel Blinking Cloud Blazer is already very, very real. Prophetic Prism would be nice to wheel. Another Puzzle Knot, as I mentioned earlier, would be nice to wheel. Those Puzzle Knots we should get a little later on, but they are pretty good. All right, so we have another blink target here, and one that makes a servo. There's a Select for Inspection, which there's a lot of these going around. I'm kind of worried about taking one because we're going to probably end up getting one or two on the wheel. There's Eager Construct here. I personally don't like playing this, but I love when my opponents play it against me, so we're going to pass it for now. We will play it if we have to, of course. This Herald of the Fair is very, very strong, but I think the Propeller Pioneer is probably better in our deck, especially because we already have a couple 3-drops, and we're looking to get some blink action with some servo action. And he flies. Select for Inspection is very, very strong, but like I said, I think we're going to wheel one of those, and Pioneer is one of those cards that we want kind of multiples of, so, ooh, that's a paradoxical outcome. We're currently building Blink Servo action, which makes me really want to take Paradoxical Outcome. It's an instant, so it can save your creatures from removal if your opponent tries to get you. Obviously, it has a ton of value to combo with some very specific cards like Reckless Fireweaver over here, for example. But even on its own, it's just an okay card at saving your creature and drawing you a card. But it would particularly work well if we do go down this Cloud Blazer Wisp Weaver backup. It also picks up all of our energy making guys if we end up with some of those, like Thriving Turtle, which is really cheap. So I'm going to go ahead and take it here. Their Select for Inspection is probably the better real card to take, but I don't know. I'm too excited to take this. All right, so we have a Cogworker's Puzzle Knot here, so I really want to take it. It works with basically all of our stuff here. It works with Tinkerer. It works with does Angel hit creatures or yeah, only creatures? Okay, so it doesn't work with Angel, but it does work with Paradoxical Outcome. This card, this card does some stuff too. We need to combo this with something, so I'm not super excited about taking it now. But the fact that this is kind of a blink setup, it's really expensive though, really expensive. I'm just gonna take the Cogworker's Puzzle Knot and be happy. All right, what do we have? We got Reckless Fireweaver to go off there. Self-Assembler. There's one of these that already wheeled. I could potentially take it. There's another Express, the 5-cost 8/6. I'm not a big fan of this particular guy, or this particular vehicle. I guess calling it vehicle guy is quite confusing. I would steer clear. I wasn't even trying to use a vehicle pun. I would avoid the Express in most decks. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the self-assembler here because I think we don't really have interest in going to another color for any of these cards, and we did pass one of those earlier, so that could be good. All right, what do we have? We have a Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. Whirly Maker, which is really good with Tinkerer, so I'm probably just going to take it because I like synergy. And yeah, I guess that's good enough for me. There's a lot of really good cards here. Spontaneous Artist is playable, 3 Puzzle Knots, all of which are fine, and then a Sage. This package was just really good, I guess. But Whirly Maker, like I said, combos with our deck, so we're going to snap it up. This pack does not combo with our deck. I think I'm just going to take this Scourge because it's the strongest card and it scares me. Sure. Another Puzzle Knot. Alright, we wheeled 2 Puzzle Knots, which is pretty good for us because they're 2-cost 1/1 servos, and then you just get value of them later on. They're also very good with this Paradoxical Outcome. Ooh, nice, 3 of them. Alright, our deck has come together. We have Servo Blink. That's the strategy. What other kind of strategy do you need? I actually, we could have gone a slightly different route and ended up with a pretty good deck too, but I'm liking this. As much as I want to take Big Nose here, just for his artwork, I'll take the Puzzle Knot. We did get this Big Nose. I think these guys' art's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Oh, is that somehow off screen? I don't know how that happened. The cog is off screen. I don't know. Somehow I messed that one up. I'll fix it for the games. And for now, I'll leave that island in there. Alright, pack 2. Our pack 1 was very good, I would say. Bomb Rare, multiple great uncommons. this this thing, which does stuff. There's some weird tension here where you don't want to break your puzzle knot when you have paradoxical outcome in your deck, but meh. I mean, and to be fair, it's not impossible that paradoxical outcome will make our deck. It just has a high likelihood to be able to make our deck, so I want to leave it in the main deck so we keep it in mind as we draft cards. Alright, we got a copter. We're taking a copter. That one's an easy one, folks. It's worth the tickets, and it's a great limited card. I don't have much else to say. Out of the pack, looking to wheel would be Ibex. We'll probably get it back, maybe. Herald of the Fair is always fine. Veteran Motorist, I wouldn't splash it probably, but we got a copter. We're happy. Moving on. Moving on. Dude, I can't believe we got a copter. You can't lose a game where you have a copter. We even have all these puzzle knots to crew it up. That was a really good card to open. I haven't actually played with Copter Unlimited yet. I assume it's crazy good. Although it does die a lot easier than other vehicles, but it's cheap enough that I can't imagine it being bad. Waiting on next pack. This deck so far has been very good. There's a very low chance I run Self-Assembler, but again, it's a stacking card, and it's something that I want to keep in mind as we move forward. So I'm going to leave it out there. All right, what do I take here? There's some interesting stuff. So we have the P-Foul over here. I don't think it's great, but I'm going to mention it first just to get out of the way. Pummeler is not typically that good in Limited unless you want to set it up and do some stuff, so I'm going to ignore it. But it's not unplayable, but we're just not really the deck. We don't have any energy-making stuff. Arrow of Innovation, also don't have any energy-making stuff for it, but it works well with Paradoxical Outcome. And we have enough puzzle knots at this point, because every puzzle knot triggers it twice, because it's an artifact and then puts a 1/1 artifact servo. So we have enough synergy here that it might be worth just taking this for the draw 3. If we don't take that, we're taking Impeccable Timing, which is good. 3 damage to an attacker or blocker. I don't know. That's probably just safer than taking the Paradoxical or the Arrow of Innovation. Although this card does work well with Paradoxical Outcome. I'm not going to mention the Hermit. It's fine. Alright, I'm going to take the Impeccable Timing. I've not actually played with Paradoxical or Arrow of Innovation in Limited, so that could be a better card. And it turns out that I made the right pick because I'm going to take it right here. So that worked out because I don't want Fireforge's puzzle not that badly. Consulate Surveillance is very mediocre. This only prevents damage to you. Just keep that in mind. Failed Inspection, mediocre. And Inspire Charge is something I kind of want, but we'll probably get one later on. So Arrow of Innovation worked out that we took Impeccable Timing because we got the Arrow of Innovation next pack. We'll probably play the Arrow of Innovation. I'm liking my deck so far. I'm feeling it. You know how I go. We got our Wisp. I really want a second Cloud Blazer. I can't really complain because I got a Copter. How much is Copter worth? Let me check. MTG. Smugglers. Alright, we got Refurbish. That's interesting. I don't think I need to refurbish yet, but that is we might wheel it and we might be able to play it. I think the Ibex is probably still better at this point. I'm guessing Ibex is better than P-File, even though this is an artifact. That doesn't matter too much. Copter is currently 17 on mine. Wow, I got super lucky. Refurbish gets back a lot of good cards. It gets back a Puzzle Knot, which is fine, and that's like a guaranteed. Getting back Copter, a dead Copter is huge. Getting back either of these cards is reasonable, but I just don't have enough stuff yet for it. And there's a good chance it wheels because nobody's going to want to take a risk on it. So I think I'm just going to take the Ibex, which is forecasting cost 3/5 when it attacks, which is fine. It's just solid all around. High Tide Hermit is also a reasonable option here, but I think that the 4-drop's generally better. You can stack multiple Ibexes, whereas you only really can play one Hermit. All right, what do we have here? We got the Hawk, which gives things flying when it attacks. A Turtle, another. Both these things are energy. Or we got a 5 casting cost, 4/5 vigilance, which is actually a reasonable card. And if I don't play the Self-Assembler, I could see playing this. Dubious Challenge. Don't play that one. Don't do it. In limited, at least. Consulate Skygate's kind of interesting, too. I could see taking any of these cards, to be honest. I think the Hawk is probably better than the Turtle. But the Turtle cannot jump my Copter. But at the same time, it might be a better card. Alright, I'm going to take the Turtle simply based on curve. I think I was probably the correct pick, but whatever. I did it. I committed. Ambition I could definitely play, but we already have Innovation and Air of Innovation and Cloud Blazer, so I'm not as desperate for draw spells. 2/3 Prowess guy's probably fine. Pressure Point is meh. Incendiary Sabotage is good. I could take this. No. This guy's mediocre. Alright, I'll just take a Blade. I don't think I'm going to play Blade Master, but there's a chance, so might as well take it while I can. Ooh, that is... Do I splash this guy? If I don't do that, I could take a Peafowl or a Serpent, which has Affinity, and I have a decent number of artifacts. So I should probably just take the Serpent, to be honest. I have enough stuff going on with artifact guys and things that make artifacts that the Serpent is probably just stronger. Even though it is a common and it is kind of big and expensive and stuff. It's super cheap in this deck, or should be most of the time. Virtuoso is really appealing because of how strong it is with the Thopter guy, but I don't know. I feel reasonably confident in that pick. I think I'm gonna take a trade wins here. I have 3 Puzzle Knots. I have Thriving Turtle. I got Fairgrounds Warden that I could reset. It's just a way more playable Paradoxical Outcome. I could take the Prophetic Prism, but I'm pretty solidly 2 colors. If I had taken the Virtuoso here, I would definitely take the Prophetic Prism. But I think the first trade wins is valuable. Herald of the Fair seems pretty good. I could also take this to combo it with the Air of Innovation, Thriving Turtle, Ibex, but I don't think I need to. Also, I think there's a good chance I end up with a 5/4 artifact or something, so... well, I guess I'm going to take it. I'm not going to take this Express. I just don't think this is good in my deck. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I think the Hermit might be even better. Start Your Engines is a pretty fun card in Limited, but I don't have the stuff necessary for it. Nobody else seems to either. Alright. Both these cards are fringe playable. Since I have Servos, I'm going to take the Inspire Charge. Leave that over there. Refurbished Wheel. Sure, we'll take this stupid card. Pressure Point, I'm not going to play it, but I'll keep playable ones in sight here, and the other ones over there. Alright. We still have another pack. That is a pretty good one to open. Don't think anything here really competes with it. There's the Wingsmith, which gets big or gets flying. But yeah, I'm just gonna take Caravan. It helps us get to our late game. It's another artifact for the Serpent. It's another artifact for Air of Innovation, and it's just all around good. Can't really complain. Creeping Wilderness pack and the Stomper, so keep that in mind. Not this Stomper. That's not the Stomper I meant. I meant alright. Well, we have Revoke Privileges, which I think I have to take. Malfunction is worse. And Aviary Mechanic might wheel. Authority of the Consuls is an okay card in a more aggressive deck. But yeah, I'm just going to take the Revoke Privileges. Alright, so we're at 25 cards. Key to the City. Key to the City seems very good. There's also a Glint Sleeve Artisan. This card seems real strong. I've not actually played with this yet, but I know a lot of people that have. Man, this is the second Incendiary Sabotage. I'm a little worried about losing to that card. Alright, I'm going to take Key to the City here. We'll figure out what to do with it. I think it's too strong to pass up. Making things unblockable and then drawing cards. Maybe there was bad in our deck because we have so much card draw already. Alright, Fragmentize, Select for Inspection, or Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. I don't think I need the Puzzle Knot. I think I just want this effect. I should start cleaning out the bad cards out of my deck. Select for Inspection is nice, but I think Fragmentize is a little bit better in this format. Wielding Sparks is in here too. Ugh. Ugh. As far as Trusty Companion, probably a fine card. I just have plenty of 2-drops. Probably a fine card for most decks, I should say. Alright, another Impeccable Timing. Here's our 4/5 artifact guy again, the Mastodon. Another Turtle, Blade Master. Voyager's also very good, but again, I don't really have the desire to splash for this. I think it really comes down to one of these 2 cards. Let's assume we cut this. Let's assume we cut this. And this. The Impeccable Timing just is the safe play for sure. I don't know if I need it, but alright, I'm just gonna take it. It's easily the better of the 2 cards there. Alright, so we have another Puzzle Knot. Fateful Showdown is kind of annoying here. Another Puzzle Knot, which is worth at least looking at. Sequestered Stash here is pretty interesting. Gets us 5 cards deep and then grabs an artifact and puts it back on top. Ambition we don't need. We have enough card draw going on. Innovator, Blade Master, I'm not going to play either of those. I think I just take another Puzzle Knot here, but let me make sure I'm going to play it. Because I'm at 24 cards. I guess it's the most likely to make my deck of any of this stuff, regardless. I'll figure out. It makes my Glass Seeker, or my Gear Seeker Serpent, I don't know why I call it Glass Seeker Serpent, so much better too, especially if we pick up another one. I doubt we're going to pick up another one, but we might. Another Hawk or Motorist. I don't think I'm going to play a Hawk. I have so many 2-drops. I'm just going to snag this Motorist from somebody. Maybe the Hawk's a good sideboard card. Alright, I'll take it for the sideboard. Ooh, alright. All these cards. We have Acrobatic Maneuver. I think I have this covered with Aether Tradewinds and the Angel, but it's here. Should I not play Paradox? I should play it. Alright, we have Ori, 2 lands, and then if you have no cards, you draw a bunch of cards. Don't think I'm going to play that, though, because it works for both players. Probably just want this counterspell, to be honest. I don't have a counterspell yet. And there's a reasonable chance that I'm going to want one for my sideboard, so I'm just going to snag that. Nothing good wield. Sure, take this. So we're at 25 cards. I gotta figure out what I want to do here. I could cut the turtle. I could cut Key to the City. It's not that good in my deck. Bunch of 1/1s. I have no one guy that's trying to get through every turn. It is an artifact, which is kind of appealing. Oh, I should definitely cut this High Tide Hermit. I guess poop. I'm not too worried about my slightly low creature count. Stomper Wield. Again, I'm not going to play the Stomper, I don't think. I'm just going to take this Skygate for the sideboard. It's got reach, so I think it's worth it. Need 1 cut. What do I cut? I think it is Key to the City, which feels really awkward. But all my bigger creatures kind of fly. Essentially flies. It's got pay 6 to make it unblockable. Flies, makes flyers. This would be a reasonable thing to make unblockable. This makes a bunch of tokens. Yeah, just not flies. 1/1s, 1/1s, 1/1s. It's either Key to the City. The only reason I would keep Key to the City is because of that Serpent. I don't think that's good enough reason. I only have 1 Serpent. I have no discard synergies. And I have card draw in the form of Air of Innovation and Cloud Blazer and Paradoxical Outcome. There's another Consulate Skygate. 2 of those in the sideboard's kind of sweet. I could play Consulate Skygate instead of Thriving Turtle, to be honest. If I wanted another artifact. Is it correct to cut this Key to the City? I have this Thriving Ibex. That's probably right. I could play Inspired Charge on that slot. I don't think I want to, though. Turtle's pretty nice with Paradoxical Outcome. It's just cheap. And it does turn on Copter on turn 3, because you attack with it on turn 2 and turn into a 1/4. Then cruise this up. I think I'm going to keep the Turtle. I mean, I could also see playing a lot of these cards, like this Nimble Innovator is probably fine in our deck. Works with Paradoxical Outcome. It's a 4-drop. Ooh, this guy wheeled? What the heck? Feels weird to me. Our deck is super sweet, though. Boom, 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 boom. 2 Impeccable Timings covers our early game, and then Fragmentize covers our early game. Fairgrounds Warden helps the late game. Revoke privileges as well. Non-token permanents you control the owner's hands. Alright, I'm ready. Let's do it. This card with a single Puzzle Knot reduces this by 2, so at that point it's a 5 cost 5/6. So I'm counting on it being reasonable. And then we have multiple things to make a bunch of artifacts. Whirly Maker and Master Tinkerer being the 2 prime ones. All right, let's get some lands. We also have the Cultivator's Caravan in there helping produce mana. 7/10. That looks correct. Although I could get away with 9/8 because all my white except for this angel is single white. And this will help me a little bit with the Thriving Turtle. I certainly don't need 8 islands. This is being extra cautious. It's mostly just worried about getting this thing out, but I guess 7 is probably fine for that. Alright, let's get. There's enough of an imbalance that it's probably correct to do this. Alright, and this is League, so I get to submit and jump straight into a game. So without further ado, I'll be right back. Conley Woods, TCGplayer.com. Like I said, bringing you a Kaladesh draft, and we'll be right back.